What's up, guys? Zeenigami here, and it's 6-star Blackbeard Sugofest is out. We don't have the full max stats of all the characters yet, but we do know what they all do, so let's take a quick look at every single character available in the 6-star Blackbeard Sugofest, and also some of the characters in the new Marineford story mode. Go over how good their captain abilities and special abilities are, and just what kind of teams we'll see them on in the future. First, we're going to start with Blackbeard. 6-star Blackbeard has 1,520 attack. All these characters do not have their artwork yet, because we have to wait until Bandai Namco puts them up on the official website. Once Bandai Namco puts them up on the official website, then we will have the images for any of these characters. But Blackbeard, I have to change the wording on some of this, but his captain ability is as long as you have at least one shooter, striker, fighter, and slasher character on your team, you get 2.75 times attack to all characters. So regardless of what type they are, as long as you have a shooter, a slasher, a fighter, and a striker on your team, everyone gets 2.75 times attack. Now, this does mean that you can double dip. For example, if you have Kizaru, that's Raid Boss Kizaru, he is a fighter shooter character, so he counts as both of those. All you need now is a slight slasher striker. So if you use Kizaru and you use, for example, Coliseum Killer, you have all four classes. You have fighter, slasher, striker, shooter, and then you can bring two of any character that you want at all, and every single one of your character gets 2.75 times attack and 1.5 times hit points. It is insane the kind of stats and damage this guy brings. Now, the only drawback to Blackbeard is also his strength, is that all attacks will ignore defensive buffs and barriers. That includes enemy attacks, and that includes your attacks. So you can't use Alvida, you can't use Perona, you can't use Jozu, you can't use Streaming Wolf Zoro. All of their attacks will go right through and punch you in the face. But thank goodness you have that extra 50% hit points. And don't forget, this is not our regular Blackbeard. We're not using Monster Chopper. You can actually get some good recovery on this team too. So you can bring someone like a Marco, either Marco, and heal back up to full. That's how you can stall. You can bring Golden Pound Usopp as your shooter spot also. And don't forget that Marco is a fighter. So you got a fighter, you got a shooter, you got Golden Pound Usopp, Marco, maybe that killer that we talked about earlier, and whatever else. Your friend captain also counts towards that total. So if you want to use Blackbeard, who is a driven powerhouse character, with someone like a Rob Lucci to make a powerhouse team, you can take advantage of Rob Lucci's second typing. You could take advantage of any driven character's second typing too. For example, use Blackbeard with a Shiki captain. You'll have a driven team that has a slasher already, and all you gotta do is bring a fighter, a striker, and a shooter character. And since he ignores buffs, you don't have to worry about damage limiting buffs. You go right through that. Your regular attacks go right through. Special damage is still reduced by it, except for by Blackbeard. You can go right through combo hit barriers, perfect hit barriers. They all are just completely ignored. His captain ability makes so many fights completely different. You don't have to worry about, well, he's going to negate all damage this turn. No, he's not. You're going to use Blackbeard. You're just going to plow through him and absolutely destroy him. As long as you don't have to negate damage, because you're not going to be doing any of that at all. But you can use delay. Don't forget about delaying. That's very important. The special ability of Blackbeard will go through barriers if he is your captain. If he is not your captain, then it will not go through defensive barriers. So if you're using Blackbeard captain, it goes through defensive barriers. It does not make any other character go through defensive barriers. So if you're using a Blackbeard sub, that does not make your captain work, and Blackbeard sub will not go through barriers as well. So Blackbeard special ability will only go through barriers if he's the captain ability. The only weak part of Blackbeard right now is that his cooldown is on a 25 turn cooldown, which is pretty long for a lot of raid bosses, but we're going to expect that to go down at least to a 19 turn cooldown, and he is going to be magnifique. So absolutely top-notch Blackbeard right there. I am super excited to try him out. And he works great as a Blackbeard captain with a friend of something else. Then we have Lovefeet. Lovefeet is a Dex attack, he deals Dex damage at the end of each turn and recovers 3 times his hit points at the end of each turn. He's like a Monet, except for Dex damage as a captain ability. Not a great captain, but he is very good at clearing out, for example, penguins really fast. You can use him on penguins to clear things out really fast, but really, really, really bad captain ability. His Sailor ability boosts the attack of all your characters by 100 if you have a driven captain. That is really, really cool. It's a 100 attack to all characters. He only has 1,132 attack, but you can imagine that is actually 1,232 attack if you use him on a driven team. Especially since he's a driven sub, he'll go great on that driven team. So that's your captain, not your friend captain. If your captain is driven, get 100 attack. If both captains are driven, you don't get 200 attack, you still only get 100 attack. And then his special ability reduces Bind and Despair by 2 turns. That's always something nice to have. And he makes badly matching orbs and block orbs not reduce your damage, but for 4 turns. So if you get something that gives you all block orbs instead of having your damage, you deal neutral damage. Or if you have an orb booster on, instead of taking instead of only dealing 1/4 the amount of damage you expect to deal, you'll deal normal damage. So that is a cool way to counter block orbs. Don't get rid of the block orbs, just make them not work anymore. And then we have Van Augur. Van Augur is a shooter, cerebral, quick character. His captain ability is just like Zephyr. It's a 2.5 times attack to shooters, except he also reduces cooldown of shooters by 1 at the start of a fight. So that just makes him a straight up better captain than Zephyr is. His special ability is changes orbs on your captain into matching orbs. So just like Vista Coliseum changes your bottom row into matching, Van Augur will change your top row into matching orbs. And he also boosts the orb effect, or boosts the damage of your orbs by 1.75 for 1 turn. So Van Augur is actually a really, really, really good shooter sub, because you can use him as the blue shooter. You put him in that bottom right hand corner on a double Stronghold Ace team. You use his special ability, it gives both of your Stronghold Aces matching orbs, and you have fully matching orbs if you're using a standard Stronghold Ace shooter team. And he also gives you a 1.75 times orb boost as well, so you can use someone else instead of that Stronghold Frankie in the red slot. So Van Augur, very, very good shooter sub. I also want to mention Van Augur's Sailor ability reduces duration of blindness for 5 turns. So anytime you would get blinded for 5 turns or less, completely ignored. More than 5 turns reduced by 5, just like bind resistance or despair resistance. Then we have Burgas. Burgas is a strength powerhouse fighter character. His captain ability boosts the attack of fighter and powerhouse characters by 1.6 times and boosts their hit points by 1.15 times. This does stack, so if you have a fighter / powerhouse character, they get 2.56 attack and 1.3 times hit points. And he himself is a fighter powerhouse as well. So it's a very limiting captain. But if you have a bunch of fighter powerhouse characters, especially strength characters, you've got that a monster chopper, you've got Luffy. There are a lot. Actually, Luffy is free spirit, is me. Yeah. Well, Vlog Luffy is. But you got like Monster Chopper. There are a lot of very strong fighter powerhouse characters that can take full advantage of that 2.56 times attack and 1.3 times hit points. His Sailor ability boosts the hit points of all characters by 75, which works great if you want to throw him on like a Blackbeard team. He's a strength character. We don't know what his max hit points are at, but it'll probably be pretty good. So he's gonna make a pretty darn good strength Blackbeard sub. And his special ability deals large strength damage to all enemies, and he boosts fighter attack by 1.5 times, but for 5 turns. It is a 5 turn 1.5 times fighter attack boost. That is insanely strong. It is, you can use it and you can go through several bosses with that. You can use it on stage 4 of a Coliseum and have that fighter attack boost carry over to stage 5. Silly, silly good fighter attack boost here. Not quite as big of a burst, but a super long 5-turn fighter buff. Then we have Shiliew. Oh my goodness. Stop everything. Stop the music. Stop the presses. Shiliew, his captain ability is boost the attack and hit points of slashes by 2 times, just like Raid Boss Doflamingo. His Sailor ability means he cannot be silenced at all. But what's this for his special ability? We do know how it's affected by bosses. We do know how it's affected by its resetting. So, his special ability, through testing, I used it 67 times today. And it has about a 25% chance of instantly killing any character in the game. Raid bosses, 0 stamina bosses. If there are 6 characters on the screen, he has a 25% chance of killing any of those 6 characters. Maybe even all of those 6 characters. Each of those 6 characters will have a 25% chance of their own. It works through debuff protection. It works through barriers. It works through damage negation. It works through endurance. It's kind of stupid. It's a 25% chance to kill anything. I tested him out. I'll show you clips of this right after our character ranking, but we used him to kill 0 stamina Mihawk. Not just any stages on 0 stamina Mihawk. Mihawk himself on 0 stamina Mihawk. We used him on 0 stamina Whitebeard to kill Whitebeard and Marco. He killed Whitebeard and Marco on 0 stamina Whitebeard. Kinda makes a fight a lot easier when you don't have to deal with 2 of the 3 big things on the very final stage. And he also killed 2 of the characters on... Actually, he killed 3 characters on stage 19. So not only did he kill 3 characters on stage 19, but he also killed 2 characters on stage 20 of Whitebeard 0 stamina. So if you use him on a zombie team, oh my goodness, zombie teams actually got like really, really fast. It's a 25 turn cooldown, but once you get to the boss, you use his special ability, see if you kill him. Now, one thing to note about his special ability is that you cannot reset it. So if you use a special ability and you kill... For example, there's 5 characters out there and you kill 2 of the 5 characters. Like you kill the back 5 characters. If you exit out of the game and come back in, use the special ability again, it'll always kill those same 2 characters. Or if you use special ability and it kills nobody, you reset the game, it'll always kill nobody. But the way that the randomness works is not set at the beginning of the stage, but it is set every turn. It changes every single turn. So the strategy is to use Shiliew, or Shiliew, I'm never going to say his name right, Shiliew. Use Shiliew to see if he kills anybody, or kills the characters that you want. If he doesn't kill anybody, or doesn't kill the characters you want, then reset, come back in, you have his special ability still up, and then attack as normal. Just do your attack as normal. And then if, on the second turn, try again. See if you kill him that time. If you're using a zombie team, you can try this all you want. Do a zombie team against Zephyr. Use a special ability. If it doesn't kill Zephyr, reset. Do it again. Turn 2, try again. Turn 3, try again. As long as you can survive a couple turns, then you can kill each person. It's Shiliew. I can't do it. He's stupid overpowered. He's got amazing stats too. He's got 1,490 attack for a int-driven slasher. Driven and slasher are 2 of the strongest types in the game. And there's not that many int slashers to fight with. It's basically between him and int Mihawk, maybe a Croc. He's almost certainly the best int slashers you'll ever find. This guy is absolutely balls to the walls. Insane how good this character is. If they try to silence you, doesn't matter. He's immune to silence. Try to put up a barrier, doesn't matter. Goes right through barriers. You can just win fights with this guy. Stupid good character. And if you use him on a zombie team, best zombie team there ever is. Oh yeah, there's more characters, right? Doc Q. After that grand showing of like the best character that's ever come out in One Piece Treasure Cruise, he might be better than most 6-star characters even. What do we have? We have Doc Q. Doc Q's captain ability reduces your recovery by 99%, so you basically can't heal. And he makes the boost the attack of slasher and striker characters by 2.75 times if you're at full health. So a pretty slasher striker characters, he's got a lot of characters that work with him for a 2.75 times boost, but you don't get to heal at all. Conversely, if you have him as a sailor, so remember the sailor ability is not active when they're their captain. If you have him as a sailor, he boosts how much your recovery orbs heal by 150 for each orb. So if you use him on a team with 0 recovery, you still get 150 recovery out of each food orb. If you use him on a team with 1,000 recovery, you will now heal for 1,150 for each recovery orb. His special ability reduces your crew by 10%, which means it turns off your captain ability. That makes total sense. And he changes block, tandem, and recovery orbs on slasher and striker characters into matching orbs. That is actually really, really good. So changing block, tandem, recovery on slasher and striker into matching, magnifique. Reduces crew by 10%. Doesn't matter if you use him as sub. As a captain, absolutely poopsy captain. And then we have the story mode characters. John Giant, boring character, attack and hit points to slasher by 1.5 and reduces damage for 1 turn. Aokiji. Aokiji is a 2.5 times psi attack booster. Pretty nice. He is, between him and Guild Tesoro, the highest attacking psi free-to-play attack boosters there are. So actually a really, really good psi captain. He also deals 10,000 fixed damage and locks all your orbs for 1 turn, which is really nice for a psi team. Psi teams don't really have great orb blockers except for Domino. So Aokiji, actually a really good psi character. Garp, a 2.25 times attack for fighters and reduces damage taken by 10%. There are stronger fighter captains out there. And his special ability deals 25 times his attack in strength damage that pierces through barriers. So just like Blackbeard as a captain, this ability goes through barriers as well. Not the strongest showing from Gart, but a decent character. And then we have Sengoku, who is another 2.5 times attack captain to cerebral characters. So just like Momonga, he is a 2.5 times attack captain, which is pretty nice. And he's farmable, so that's good. And his special ability reduces cooldown of all your specials by 1 turn. He boosts the attack of all characters by 1.2 times and amplifies the effect of orbs by 1.2 times for 1 turn. Just to remind you that if you use an effect like his to boost attack and boost orb effect, that if you use him first and then try to use something like Doflamingo afterwards, or try to use something like Impact Al Usopp afterwards, whichever one you use first will take precedence. So if you're using him on your team, make sure you use him after you use your stronger orb boosters like Doflamingo or type boosters like Impact Al Usopp. And then we have Akainu. Akainu is a 2.5 times attack for driven characters. These story mode characters are actually really, really good captains. And there's no other farmable 2.5 times attack driven characters, so Akainu is very, very high demand for a free-to-play driven captain. And his special ability boosts attack, or deals 35 times his attack in int damage to one enemy, and also boosts the attack of driven characters by 1.5 times for 1 turn. So a very, very good captain. Akainu, probably the best one of these story mode characters, but all of them pretty decent captains. We also have a new Luffy coming soon to the Rayleigh shop. We don't know exactly what his evolved version is, but his unevolved version is a slight striker attack and hit point booster. We'll see how well he does. His special ability will be the same though. It's reduced the duration of bind and silence. That is silence, the one that makes you not be able to use your special abilities by 3 turns, and shuffles his own orb around. That's all the characters again, guys. Once again, that's what we want. This is what we want. This is the start of show. He's stupid good. Kinda stupid good. I've been Zeenigami. Thank you so much for watching. And y'all stay beautiful.